Good day, Mr. Marada. Welcome to the Brutally Honest Show with the man himself, Brutus Marada. How are you doing today, sir?
Good day, Robertson. And one over Robert. It's good to be here in the Brutally Honest channel where we say things the way they are. We call a spade a spade. It's good to be here this afternoon. And thank you very much for the conversation.
This one is the continuation of our segments that are actually focusing on the aftermath of the 2024 elections. So today we focus on the Economic Freedom Fighters, the EFF,
Yes.
where we are actually looking at their performance for the national elections compared to the previous national elections. What is your analysis on the overall performance?
These elections, there are many factors that may have contributed to several parties' performance, and the EFF is no exception. As a party, it came on a buzz. You would recall their manifesto launch. You would recall the fill up the FNB Stadium, the celebration of their anniversary. A lot of buzz was around the EFF, but nobody expected the formation of MK, the emergence of the MK party under the leadership of former President Jacob Gedle Zuma has dribbled many political parties, including the EFF. We see the performance of the EFF has regressed. They started from 6% in 2014, and they rose to 10%. Now they have a percentage drop, and they could not fulfill the objective that they had set themselves. They had said that if we don't win an election, we are going to be the official opposition. We see that even in the case of the GNU, we see the DA has joined the GNU, which means that the official opposition now has to be the other parties. But which party is the official opposition? In terms of the numbers, MK has done better than the EFF, and the EFF seem to have regressed.
Okay, no, thank you so much for that opening remarks. And tell me, the main issue that we saw Patriotic Alliance as well campaigning on it was the immigration issue. Do you think the immigration issue had a factor in terms of the outcome of the elections as far as the EFF is concerned?
Yeah, I should think so. That over and above the issue of the emergence of the MK, different parties campaigned on different issues, and the immigration was such an emotive matter in these elections. You would recall that even Action SA started with that campaign. The PA saw that this is a jewel, and they embraced it and they adopted it, and it became their own main issue of their campaign. The EFF, though, seemed to have miscalculated. It didn't read the pulse of the nation. Many people are worried about several factors. Some of them are caused or are exacerbated because of our, immigration policies, in the sense that issues such as unemployment, crime, services, public services like hospitals, they seem to be. You would recall that the former MEC of Health in Limpopo had a campaign where she was going into the hospitals, actually saying that the foreigners must go back. Some of them are coming just for the services like hospitals. So for the EFF to have failed to read the pulse of the nation and made the open border policy, I think they misstepped. You see, when you deal with immigration, you need to ask yourself several questions. Is South Africa a sovereign state? And how do we protect the independence and the sovereignty of our state? You can't have open borders. You may say that let us have a foreign policy that has fraternal relations with several countries. We can assist here and there. We can make partnerships with our neighbors. But to then say let's have an open border policy, Look at this recent issue that has just happened, where the Libyans came into South Africa. They are in Mpumalanga establishing a military base. You could actually blame it on the laxity of our immigration laws, that people can enter in and out of South Africa free. And what Mr. Malema seemed to have been suggesting is that it would even get worse than what it is. South Africans have rejected that. South Africans are saying, we want closed borders. We want access controlled. We're not saying that foreigners must not come to South Africa, but there must be processes that allow people. You need to know who is in your country for what. At least if you are a state, you need to be able even to determine the growth for services, the policies as to how you're going to cater for the people that are in your country. So immigration to date, even in in the West, is such a very big issue. You see what is happening in the UK, you see what's happening in France. All of these factors about asylum seekers and so on are quite emotive issues. So you need to be very strategic as a political party campaigning for elections. You need to ask yourself, are South Africans' interests, are we catering for South African interests? Even if you've got a different policy, make sure that you make South Africans feel that you represent them. And I think the EFF has failed to create that balance.
Thank you so much. Now we go to the man himself, the leader, Julius Malema. Is he still the right man to be steering the EFF boat?
Look, there is no doubt that Julius is a charismatic leader, and he has done a lot for the EFF. He has taken the EFF from its formation to 3 national elections. He has grown the party, but it seems like his leadership has reached a ceiling. I don't think that at this moment, after having gone to 3 national elections, the EFF, its members must be asking themselves questions. Is Julius going to be able to take us to the next level for the EFF's growth? I think that this is time for introspection within the ranks, within the rank and file of the EFF. Now, when you think about this, here is an issue about the what we can paint a similar scenario. You will recall the Bible is full of it's full of strategy and tactics. So when you read the story of the Israelites, you have a Moses who rescues them out of Egypt. But he didn't get to Israel. He didn't see the promised land. Joshua went to the promised land. Now, I am saying that at this point, Julius has led the EFF to this level. He has grown the party to a 10%. Maybe it's time for someone else, for a Joshua to emerge and take the EFF to the promised land. Otherwise, economic freedom in our lifetime will remain a chimera. It will not be achieved under Julius. It will remain a pipe dream. Perhaps the EFF must introspect, get a new leader that can actually make this ideal of a freedom in our lifetime, economic freedom in our lifetime, realized.
But do we see a Joshua currently within the structures of the EFF? Is that a Floyd or who else?
Yeah, look, when I characterize the leaders of the EFF, one, I'm going to be brutally honest. Here is the brutally honest channel.
Of course.
Now, Julius is a loudmouth. He shoots from the hip, but he has charisma. He can fill up the stadium. You also have a Floyd, who I would characterize as the software of the party. He's the thinker. He's the intellectual. He has depth. He's coherent and he's eloquent. Perhaps we needed a Julius to be the founding leader of the party and attract the kind of members that they've attracted. And perhaps this is time for the EFF to go to the next level, to attract people that would feel that they are attracted by the ideas, by the coherence of arguments that a Floyd makes. Maybe that is what will take the EFF to the next level. You also have a Dr. Mwiseni Ndlozi. He's very charismatic. Maybe, that's the kind of a leader that can take the EFF to the next level. I mean, I characterize Ndlozi as a charismatic leader, but he's also very eloquent. You've got a Marshal Dlamini. Dlamini is just a marshal. Honestly, he has failed to fill in the shoes of Godrich Gadi. Perhaps you needed a swap of leadership where you take Mwiseni Ndlozi into the position of the secretary so that he can grow from that position and maybe aspire to be a leader of the EFF in the near future. But I think there is a Joshua in a Floyd Shivambu, in a person such as Mwiseni Ndlozi. The EFF can actually go beyond what they have reached so far. Maybe that's a person who can take the EFF into the 20%, into the 40%. In this era of coalitions that is coming, you would need the EFF to grow for it to play a meaningful role in the era of the coalitions, and for it now to become a party of the future that can that can become a governing party. And that I predict it will only happen after 2034.
Do you even think there's a room for a Joshua to be given a platform within the EFF, given maybe some examples from the history where a person like Andile Mkudama, we had Mpora Makatsa, who tried to stand up and they end up being fired from the EFF?
Yeah, so there is no question about instilling a sense of discipline in the party. But the iron fist kind of leadership also repels a lot of people from joining the party. Now, a person such as Floyd, I think that it is time for him to stand up. In a democratic setting, it should be free for a leader such as Floyd to contest the position, even if Julius is still standing, so that there must be a sense of democracy happening in the party. You can't have a leader for life. You need that leader to be challenged. And if Floyd emerges, it is perhaps good for a Julius Malema to step back and be on the, maybe just as part of the leadership collective. And that's not to take away the contribution he has made. And I think this thing of people who stand up, then they end up being chased out. It's very problematic for a party such as that, because it will make the party to appear to be a private property of a person. You don't want a party in which the leader is the be-all of the party. Whatever that he says, he can't be challenged. You can't lead a political party in a democratic setting in such a way that it feels like it's a private property. That you do if you are building a cult, not a democratic party.
Thank you so much. I think in closing, what do you think we should be expecting in the next general elections as far as the EFF is concerned?
No, I think unless they change leadership and unless they change their tone on certain policy matters, the EFF will continue to regress. I have actually praised the EFF for having a strategy to grow a party from a platform of parliament, and they've been very good at that. But you can only take such a strategy to a certain level. You need to change tune. Now, I think that what will happen in the next elections, if Julius remains the leader of the party, it is possible that the party may still regress. And it will be unfortunate for a party that was on a upward trajectory to then regress and be taken back to the fringes. So my advice would be that as the EFF goes into the next elective conference, the members of the party must ask themselves, is it not time to get a new leader? And I think Floyd must rise. Mwiseni must take a better responsibility in the party. He was a spokesperson at some point. That space is no longer the same. A person such as him must become the secretary. Marshall, honestly, he has not had an impact.
And just adding on what you just said now, let's look as well into the women leadership within the EFF. I remember a lady called Mandisa Masiho at some point who was quite strong and upcoming. I don't see what actually happened to her currently. There was a lady as well called Magdalene Munsami. I think she was the Treasury General of the EFF. What actually happened to them, or what role do you think women like in their caliber can actually play within the EFF going forward?
Look, people leave political parties for different reasons, sometimes even for personal reasons. For Munsami, we know that she went to pursue her legal career. For Mandisa was the chairperson of Gauteng. Very vibrant, very outspoken. And I think Mandisa may have actually suffered the same fate that suffered a person like Mpora Makata by standing up and raising a different voice from that of the leadership. It's very unfortunate for women leaders like her to be in the EFF and then they are pushed out. But we do have other leaders in the EFF. Chirwa, she has been doing very well. Her recent remarks, you can see that she's quite up and coming, and she has got a bright future. The only challenge would be whether the EFF would be able to, to maintain and to sustain their growth without actually suppressing them. I think in the EFF still remains one of the parties in which women seem to be getting those kinds of responsibilities. But we should not see what happened to Mandisa happening to the other women. I think we need to see them grow with the party, not for them to come like, it's just a season and then they are out of the picture. We need to see them grow with the party.
Mr. Marada, once again, thank you so much for great analysis, brutal analysis, if I have to put them in that way. And let's meet on the next episode.
Thank you, Robert San. Robert Kolibu. Thank you very much.
Nah.